Thank you, gents, for your thoughts as always. But no Sticko makes me a sad Canadian. Early this morning, maybe Sticko could have just rocked out map one flakes. No harm, no foul. Hellraisers did just, if I remember correctly, get the hot 2-0 yesterday in relegation. So, and that man went off. So no surprise.
He could have brought a bit of spice to life, I think is what you're saying there. And I think, they can still do work either way. It's not off the cards that Monty's able to, get himself a few. He does start off this round nice and strong, bear in mind, for Extatus. Gets himself that nice trade over on towards balcony. He's going to create a bit of a stir up on towards A as they do try and get themselves on that site. Bomb is going to go down. You see one nice frag be found by Ships. He finds up a headshot with the USP. The retake is coming in thick and fast, but that's a problem at Monty.
Jeez.
You didn't want to see him. You wanted to see Sticko, but it's right now, he's filling issues pretty damn well.
3K. Ships is pushing up. He will take down Monty, so it's all in Zedco. Playing single box by sight. He's going to get spotted. He gets double peeked, and Ships comes out on top. 3K for Ships. He says, well, anything Monty can do, I can do better, and he'll clutch it out and get the defuse. So Bpro win the pistol. And Extatus, we'll see what they're going to do in this situation, right? They get the bomb planted. They have enough money to justify all UMPs. We've seen that before. And on a map like Inferno, it is kind of one of those things that it's super scary. But it looks like Extatus are just going to go ahead and play out the pistols and save up for those rifles next round.
I kind of like what Bpro are doing here as well. I feel like they're really kind of rocking just standard fundamentals of Counter-Strike right now. They've gone for the 3 UMPs, the 2 rifles. Make sure they have a bit of distance mixed in with just that lethality, that close range. Frag grenades apparently claiming basically all the frags in this round. Finally, Monty picks up one. Still take down Blocker, but a very wacky round in terms of the frag grenade damage unfolding there and then. Bomb is going to get planted, which is a pretty big win for the Extatus lineup.
Oh my
Then
God.
it just comes down to Monty to actually try and clutch this one out. Got way too close to my liking at all there, and a lot of damage being done. Bpro, we just complimented you for fundamentals. That was weak.
Yeah. It was kind of rough. Psycho should probably pick up FAMAS. They will get the M4 back and the FAMAS that they invested. They lose the UMPs, but Monty with his P250 and picking up that M4 really went to work. Another bomb plant for Extatus is just going to bolster this buy, right? So they get the op out on Devil utility that they may not have had with that extra bomb plant. And I don't think the op would have come out without that bomb plant. So that's a round 3 op, and Devil's ready to wreak havoc with it as Bpro don't have one in response. And you're going to see
Same
early...
frag grenade attempts.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything though, really.
No, but I mean, it's always chip damage, as Moses likes to say. They're chipping them away, so... I mean, that's just the new Banana. You can't really dodge the nades anymore. You used to be able to dodge a wrench, but it's like Banana got fat. It aged, so.
Over time, it gets older and older. And one thing that I find interesting though wasn't necessarily the Banana kind of pre to place, but they also threw deep nades down mid, which for me, I look at it and go, okay, it's all well and good you throw a tiny bit of utility at the start around down Banana or something down the kind of thin corridor where you are guaranteed that down. A lot of utility was wasted within just 20 seconds for very little gain aside from let's see if we can do something here. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know whether it will pay off. I guess it's something that only time will tell. For now, round is going to be at even Stevens. As she heads over on towards this B site, it is going to be 2 easy kills to the Bpro lineup. Leaving a slow but potential affair for Devil, as they will try and walk out on towards the site. Nice and smoke to block off Ships, denying any sort of prowess with that AWP, forcing him to go for that dart out. Devil finding that pick, just being nice and patient, re-smoking CT, and Extatus again, they are kind of approaching this one in a smart way.
Heads up though, Psycho's coming through the smoke. He's gonna try to push into water. The FAMAS will clean up the bomb planter. 25 seconds. So now this is getting awkward because they are at a man disadvantage. Someone has to plant the bomb, and it's not gonna be Monty. So it's all on Devil with 15 seconds. Good Tech 9 to get the first, but now he's gonna 1v2, and the bomb. Look at Poison. He's coming through the smoke, cleans him up in the end. They'll get the op. They'll get an AK. Bpro will get a third. Extatus getting the site, but Bpro quick on rotations. And denying that bomb plant was critical, and giving them a man advantage is ultimately what won them the round. And now Extatus are going to have to go for another kind of just pistol buy to make sure they get rifles in the next round. But Bpro on the CT side, they may lose the site, but their retakes are pretty good. And their utility usage is actually what's making their retakes extremely doable.
Yeah, when you look at the rounds, it feels like these teams are fairly evenly matched. Unfortunately, the score just doesn't quite tell that story, though, does it? Bpro have been the team to walk away and been able to jump over that final hurdle, which arguably again, kind of harking back to the point of being evenly matched, that's all well and good, but if you're not getting the rounds on the board, that's when it gets a little bit rough for you. So hopefully Extatus on this next buy can start to really create something a little bit more shipshape. Bpro and this one are going to look to just use and abuse these pistols that Extatus are going to try and toy with. Some P250s, of course, that see if they can pop out a few angles, see if they can catch someone off guard on short or long. It's an idea, but it doesn't seem like it's going to do all that much. As things seem to be locked down by these M4A4s.
That's a sweet angle from Psycho holding Porch, Poison. He's going to worry about the arch push. He's going to get up close and personal with one of them, but the P250 nets him 1 kill before Zedko puts him down, but he gets spotted and swiftly dealt with. The op will get picked up. So really, no harm, no foul, losing 1 member of that situation. It could have been worse. The Extatus will get AKs back out. We may see an op. Going to be Glass Cannon, yeah, out on Devil. Why not? He's done a good job supporting the players as they push into B. We saw that last time when Coffins got smoked off, and he just held the smoke knowing someone was probably most likely to run through it with the flash, and that was the case, as he's going to try to challenge Top Banana. I doubt anyone from Bpro peeks. They're just going to use their utility, throw it down, and just post up. Well, Extatus kind of settle into this default of theirs. They keep a couple players banana, 1 player mid, and just try to apply pressure across the map, this default pick style, and see if they can get the first opener this time without Bpro immediately striking back.
Beginning to wind the clock away. It's just going to be that slow and steady execution. Eventually to be brought in by this T side, but very kind of spread out right now. Seeing if they can just play a bit of push and shove with their opponents. Getting a bit of an idea of how Bpro are going to continue to play out these rounds as well. I think information on that T side, especially on a map like Inferno, is so crucial. Because if you can pick up any tendencies, you can start to find a vulnerability. And what comes hand in hand with a vulnerability? Exploitation.
Sorry, Flakes, you went silent mode for me there for a sec. I'm gonna blame my Canadian internet. I think that's a fair thing to do, as the hold's gonna try to come out here. Exodus, they're getting the entries as the smoke starts to dissipate. They push through the second one thrown. But look at their HP, 4 in Quizstone, 8 on Devil without armor, and just a Glass Cannon up. And Monty's heavily tagged as well, so this is a lot to ask. The bomb's gonna go down unless one stray bullet comes through Coffins. Not going to be the case in this situation, so the bomb will get planted. Exodus have post plants. Little to no HP to make this a reality.
They're also low, but timing on Poison is going to be so disappointing. Nearly able to kind of pick, but at the same time, just a flash is going to blind him off. Then the rifle swings out nice and wide, finds himself the frag in the end. The all taking down just another. Psycho, you may have 2 players to find, but you are completely held in check. Extatus, they get themselves one to play with. And a pretty good time for them too, bear in mind. Bpro, their economy, it doesn't last all that long. It's 1 more round for them to try and mess with. And a big lack of a weapon too. And A-P isn't going to be something they can try and use and abuse. And okay, now that's an interesting choice. I thought we'd be seeing 5 rifles, but no. PP Bison, you know, that's what you would just bring out, don't you? Why not?
Yeah. Bison. Love it. Love it or hate it. It's, I don't know. I think it's worse than the MP7 and the MP9. It literally just shoots marshmallows. Raw marshmallows. Just, and they bounce off your opponents.
At least it can shoot 60 marshmallows. I think it's 60,
it does
right?
have a lot of marshmallows, so it's good at barbecues. But that's the extent of its use.
You're just having a very difficult... do you have the Chubby Bunny Challenge over in Canada? Is that a thing for you? You know what I mean?
I don't know what you weird Brits are into, bro, but nah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you know, at least you have a lot of mellows to play with for that, I guess.
Just shoot me in my face and see how many Chubby Bunnies I can take.
Wow, that's quite a statement right there.
You know, whatever. Blocker, play on the edge of the smoke, and he will get peeked from Devil, so he gets the opener. As Exodus may just continue this push into B. They're going to go ahead and smoke CT. The Shifts is going to have to fall back. Gets the molly out to try to slow them down, but Frozen's not playing any games. He's already in CT. He's either going to A-hunt his player down, and Questone will find it. So now they have pressure in CT. Good peek from Frozen, get the first. It will get traded, but now it's a 1v4, and Exodus get the site cleanly, lose 1 member. More importantly, they don't lose too many members in this situation. If they did, their money would have been a little hurt. So keeping 4 members alive is kind of critical here. As Poison's just going to play the exit game. Quistone gets spotted. So that's all he'll get. Monty should execute him here. And that is going to be the case. So Exodus keep 3 members alive. It's not too bad. They only have to rebind a couple players. And one of these players can even drop the AK. So that's exactly what's going to happen. So Exodus get 2. Bpro reset nice and early.
I think the most interesting point for me there in that round, though, is just the way that Questone entries on towards their site. Going for that spray in towards construction is not something you see all that common. Sure, there's a smoke there, but usually you don't just kind of just start to let rip with a full 30 bullets. But it was very rewarding for him because he found that first pick, and that really set them off on the right foot forward to take the round with basically no presence from Bpro because their entire rotating setup just fell in discord. Deco, a headshot on towards Poison, but this round, you just don't see all that much positivity in it at all. There's just pistols in play for Bpro now, and everything they gained in terms of scoring really starts to fall away, with a nice little deagle shot on towards Zeko. Sure, brings it back to even Stevens, I guess you could argue, but these pistols are always going to be mismatched in comparison of firepower to these rifles.
Never count out a P250. It's the best $300 you're going to ever spend from in real life to any other game. It's the most bang for your buck in your life right now. I'm going to say it. It's the best thing money can buy, Flakes.
Do you own a P250?
Yeah. Yeah, better than a Netflix subscription. Better than, pretty much anything else you can ever want.
Deagle's pretty good too.
Yeah, Deagle's not bad. The moving crouch peek. Left Freak's gonna fund Monty. And Exodus are just gonna ignore the players on A as they push into B. The site's completely empty. Bpro had to over-rotate with just their pistols. As the bomb is gonna get planted. Devil has to hold the smoke. So is Quistone. You can tell how weary they are, these smokes, due to Bpro just running through them lately. That's kind of been the pattern as Devil. 1 over flower pots, 1 through the smoke. Because why not?
That is very nice from him there. Just clocking on to the fact that if there's one there, there's got to be a second. And takes them both down by just going for that simple pre-fire. At least a pretty hefty reward for him, as he makes sure that Bpro can have no impact on that site at all. And I guess it does push Lefty away in terms of that AK-47, but I don't know. I don't think Extatus really have to be all that bothered about just that singular AK.
Yeah, they don't have to be too worried. Not even going to get any close to Hunted, so Exodus at least get number 3 on the board. You'll see the rebuys come out from Exodus. They'll have 1 player a little broke in the bank. As Devil's going to help out, drop an AK. Bpro, they're buying here. Yeah, they're just taking their time, figuring out what they'd want to buy. So the AK saves a bit of money. Leftery, the player didn't have that much funds, gets thrown the AK, so he'll be wielding that. Interestingly enough, he doesn't even get body armor around it. So he was really broke. So he only gets a flash of the AK.
I'm surprised they don't sacrifice the ADP towards him. It could be a risk.
Yeah, or just give someone else the AK, because I'd rather have an AK. I'd rather have an AK and a player with armor than an M4.
I'd just rather not have a glass cannon rifle. But I'd also like to see Sips kind of go for a bit of a Pasha biceps play here. Only gets 2, can't quite get the 3rd, but hey, gotta start somewhere, gotta hone those skills. This does bring it to a 3 for 3 and gives Blocker a very nice chance to be that impact player now, as he's going to try and hold down this B site. Finds the first, needs to lead it for a second, knowing full well where Monty's trying to push towards. Holds for the flash, finds the pick as well, leaving Quistone the last man standing. Carrying that flag forward, trying to get the bomb down over on towards B, dipping towards CT to try and catch them off guard. But Psycho, he's ready like a book. He is ready and waiting to find your head as he peeks in, goes to the pre-fire. Bpro, they get themselves another round.
The glass cannon rifle. I mean, I don't think Lefter you found a frag that round, but Bpro will hold on. They keep 3 members alive in a time when their economy is starting to dip, so they'll get the op for free. They'll get what they need. Exodus, it's a mixed bag right now when it comes to their buy. Lacking utility, UMP Tech 9s, and a couple AKs. And they're already taking significant damage from nades down banana early as Bpro just fall back to the corner ships. Gonna peek on the back of this flash. Beautiful flash to get the opener, and he even feels confident to re-peek it with his AK, knowing he has support from CT, and Chips is gonna get more bang for the buck. He gets 2 before he hits dirt. As blocker, good damage done from CT. And the miss smoke. Oh no, it hit his teammate's back, and that's gonna spell doom. Zedko is in a rough spot. He's able to get the op, but Psycho trades it out, picks up the op. Bpro looking super strong right now on the CT side. Not only the rotations are on par, like they're hitting the timings when it comes to rotations. It's not too hampered. Extatus have tried to slow down rotations by leaving a lurker mid or smoking on CT in deep mollies and flashes, but it hasn't really having any real effect. As Extatus are just gonna need a tech pause here to get a player back in. Bpro are just playing super well, and it's not even that they're playing super aggro either. We haven't seen them really contest top mid, top banana, A apps. They're playing just their game plan, right? They're sitting in sites. They're willing to concede mid. They're playing arch side very well, and as soon as it comes to top banana control, they're doing what most teams do. You throw 3 players there at the beginning once in a blue moon, just in case it is a rush when Exodus don't have the biggest of buys. But it's all around great utility usage towards banana, deal damage early, smoke them off, maul them off, get rotations in, and it's good old sound Counter-Strike.
For me, it kind of goes to a phrase of, and I think it's a British phrase. I don't know. It's something that I heard quite a lot when I was brought up, at least, which is, it's along the lines of "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." Now, I don't know exactly where that originates from. It's just something that I know from my childhood, and the reason why it's relevant to this game, I think, is because for me, this CT side kind of resembles that almost. And I don't know if you agree with CT side here, but it feels like they're not doing one thing specifically in a round as a game plan. They're just kind of covering everything in a nice and sensible default, making sure they cover off their pushes, making sure they stop this aggression in banana, making sure they're sensible in re-peeking, and I kind of like that, because even with Frozen getting this double kill here, for example, they'll flash into a CT and try and contest it, but Poison is going to be there for that fight, and then they'll just play the trading game, the rotational game. And I think that does link back to kind of a phrase you tied in with, which is just sound Counter-Strike.
Yeah, the basics are covered. That time they actually get punished for top banana control, but the rotations are there. You mentioned it. The Omp gets the first cross pick, and the rest is history. Bpro are trading out effectively. They're playing nice crossfires. Even though the rotators aren't, if one player beats the rest of the team while rotating, he's not just pushing in and trying to be the hero, right? They're getting the numbers there. The A players still have utility. Yeah, it's really great to see these teams not feeling the pressure, knowing when they've conceded a site to just hold W and try to fight. They're playing like a team. They're playing like a unit. They're using their numbers accordingly, and Exodus are kind of just getting overwhelmed when it comes to the trade game right now. Even when they do get the entries, Bpro do a great job to answer back right away.
Something to keep your eyes on right now. There's a lot of damage being done very nice and early on again. Something that we kind of almost weren't all that pleased about to see that overarching utility usage over and over again from the Bpro side, but I've got to give some credit to them. They have been able to claw out a fair chunk on towards Zedko and Frozen again in this round. 42 HP and 80 HP combined is actually pretty good considering Bpro have taken not a single point barely. Okay, Ship's on, he's taken 7 HP, but I don't think we're all that bothered about that.
Are you bothered?
I mean, what kills him? What makes a difference if he has 7 HP on? I'm actually trying to work it out. I don't think there is physically a difference. I guess like if he gets legged through a bit of metal with an AWP, that could kill him now. But yeah. Talking about legs and AWPs, Poison doing a whole lot right now. Auto Director doesn't want to show me it, but it's fine. I'm imagining he's going huge. He's just having a great time right now. He gets a triple kill and goes for the quad jump through the smoke. Doesn't quite connect it, but block it. Oh, there you go. There's the one through the smoke. Poison straight on through, right underneath Zedko. Bpro, just another casual round for them at this point. Extatus looking like they've really lost the wind out of their sails on the T side. Gonna have to really start to work out some improvements now, as there's certainly a few kinks in play, but I feel like a lot of it comes down to not be willing to abuse the weak points of Bpro in terms of mid. You mentioned how passive they've been in mid. Why haven't we really seen anything really try to get kind of work towards that direction? It seems to be banana a whole lot of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Exodus try to work this default, right, where they have one player just like holding mid, and then they send one player A apps. But a majority of the time, you're right, when they get rifles, when they get something to work with, rarely do we see an A take. We've yet to see like an arch smoke and a push up towards porch side. We've seen them try to just rush out with pistols and get up porch and get out towards balcony. But other than that, it's been a very B-sided kind of kind of so far half from Extatus. I think that has to contribute solely to they're baiting out, not baiting, but they know that CTs are using a ton of utility early on from Bpro towards B. Psycho gonna lock down Porch. They trade 1-for-1 as Questone deals with the B player. But these players are split apart as Lefree gets this kill. I guess he doesn't hear the bomb getting planted. He gets his kill, yeah. That's the full defuse. Questone won't get there in time. So back to my point, Extatus are noticing that the players on B are using their utility quite early, from mollying down, nading down, using a smoke super early, and they can bait out another smoke. And they can have all the utility from the B players gone, for the most part, with a minute on the clock. So Extatus are feeling comfortable getting the trades and getting into B, but Bpro always have that quick rotator playing arc side. That isn't... What's critical right now with this CT side of Bpro is they're not hesitating on their rotations. They're willing to pull a player off of arc side and turtling into A, just to shut down any kind of B aggression early on.
I think I could comfortably say they're just talking to each other. And if you look at it, a lot of those decisions, everything you just talked about, it kind of goes back to one big thing, just having that communication as a team. So, gotta give credit to Bpro on that front at least. That's a bad smoke. That is really not all that good. It does work out for them though, as they get both of the picks. I don't know how... I'm actually disgusted that this works. Oh no, Monty, just another frag as well on Bull's Poison. Catching players out left, right and center. All their smokes have missed. And it's worked.
Yeah, and they keep 5 players
round.
alive. Yeah, that was sick. That smoke...
Was it though? Was it?
Wow. It was super sick.
I mean, it won them the round, right? I give them that.
I guess it's a poor choice of words, but yeah, they missed a couple of smokes, but I guess it gave a false sense of security to Bpro. They wanting to peek into it, so they ended up getting shredded. And look at this buy from Bpro around 14. It's 3 rifles, a couple pistols. Although never count out pistols. This time Extatus will have the rifles, the out pressure from Devo, who's been really doing work so far in this game with his op. Blocker and Psycho, though, you have to give props where props is due. Relatively speaking, when they have rifles, when they have utility, going up and a buy against Extatus, they typically get a frag apiece. If not, they're trading out, and if one player dies early on towards Banana, they just fall back into the site and wait for the rotation. So they're doing a good job of that aspect as Monty opens it up towards Port. So this is the left side arc smoke I was talking about. They get mid control, force Bpro to scramble a little bit, and they pulled everyone out of B as soon as mid control was lost due to the player under Porch not being able to tell how many players got out.
Yeah, there's pretty good calls coming in from the C side, just continuing to use and abuse the aggression they can pull through on mid. That B site is theirs for the taking right now. This is pretty hardly fake. Extatus, all they gotta do is just continue to walk up through long and just push and shove. They don't even have to commit. It's just making those steps. Monty just jumping around. Devil could just hold the angle with the orb. The smoke can come in, and it's very little utility usage for a team that have now been strung out and just held an A. That bomb gonna find its way down on towards B any second. Monty, a headshot on towards lefty. It just gets worse and worse with Bpro.
Yeah, it's kind of snowballing at this point in round 14. They take a risky buy. The pistols don't work out. They get picked early. They lose mid, which ultimately sends Bpro into this panic spiral where the player who pushed Porch called arches are smoked. I've lost mid control. I hear them A-apps. Monsters Incorporated are here to steal my dreams and scare me and collect my screams and sell it to the black market. Come help. And, well, the rest is history if you go watch the movie. But Extatus will get around number 5. That's probably the best reference I've ever done.
I like it. I think it was classy. I think one kind of thing I want to watch towards from Bpro now, we kind of saw it in just the round before when they had those 3 rifles mixed in with the pistols, is how do Bpro play when they have very little utility? It's not going to be something that's all that evident in this round because of course they don't have the perfect mix of rifles. It's going to be a whole lot of the UMP and the CZs and such with only really one AK in play. But it's still something I want to see from them is when they're kind of ground out from that utility, when Extatus can't bait it out because there's nothing there, but they feel a little bit more comfortable. Banana, how are both these teams going to adapt and play to that? Are we going to see the same aggression? You know, Ship's already getting himself straight in towards that sandbags position. This is one of those rounds that you kind of want to watch just to kind of get an idea of Bpro and the way they're going to construct these rounds in the future.
Great flash. Ships is full blind, and he's going to get cleared. So great flash makes the teammate fall off. knowing he can't support him, and Chips being full blind just gets taken down. Psycho's coming through the smoke, I imagine, as Frozen's going to get the second entry for his team. Psycho's going to get himself to coffins, and he hasn't stopped moving since he got here. Quizstone's probably a little rattled how his teammates didn't kill him earlier, but the bomb will now go down, leaving it all left, right, and Poison already going to start taking some shots their direction, and due to Leftery taking his time when it comes to pushing a banana, they know wholeheartedly where he's coming from at this point. So Extatus will get number 6, unless the CZ of Leftery and 12 HP can get something done, but Monty's holding the cross, and he will find the headshot in the end. So Extatus will get 6 after what was a pretty dominant start to this game from Bpro. They strung 4 rounds together, and then 5 after that. They just couldn't get it. The aggression from Extatus at the end and kind of breaking Bpro's economy is what ultimately got them those last 3 rounds. So now jumping over the T side, Extatus have done enough on the T side, I think, to keep Bpro on their toes when the swap happens. But Bpro are looking good today. A team that's kind of hit or miss, so it's good to see them. Everyone pretty much on the team is showing up, right? There's one player almost done. Like, there's one player in 8. That's the lowest amount of frags, so that's nothing to really shy away from.
I think for me, I don't just want to kind of be the guy that's like Bpro looking good though, because realistically, a 9-6 half on Inferno is pretty good for both of these teams.
Yeah.
I think Extatus should be pleased with how they brought it back, sure, it took them a long time, but they did eventually adapt to the style of play, find that crack in the economy, and take them down. Banana now going to be exploited. Bpro nice and strong here. Lefty and Poison both chalking up 2 headshots to P-Sun towards Frozen and Zedko. Psycho now being nice and patient, holding that angle to make sure that Extatus can't just quite play peekaboo just yet, as it is going to be a CT rotate coming in very, very swiftly. But a USP to tap on away gets both of those kills, leaving it all on Monty in a 1 versus 4 in a situation left impossible. As Blocker will take him down with the final shot required to dismiss him. Bpro 10-6. It is the perfect start for the team that were in charge of the scoreline.
Yeah, it's a perfect start. They get AKs, they get UMPs early. Extatus are going to buy into this, as most teams would in this situation, where they're going to get a little bit of utility sprinkled on top with some pistols. Bpro are going to imagine to settle into a default here, not wanting to rush into a stack, not wanting to get caught off guard with the pistols close quarter combat. You can see the stack actually coming out towards arc side of mid. As Quizstone pushes down and gets the opener of the CZ, he's going to get pushed eventually from Psycho. Ship's going to do a banana pressure. So yeah, Bpro are just content to sit in ult, sit in AAPS, and wait for pushes to come down. Keep an eye on what Quizstone just did. He pushed out of apps and got an AK, and he's just going to tap away on Poison, who may have not got the call that's a possibility. And Psycho should find him here. But damage is dealt from Quizstone. The AK gets picked up, but Extatus. With 2 players on the A site with pistols, this is doable, and it's becoming expensive now for Bpro.
You have to look at all the map control they lose now, though, for Extatus. They had a really nice positional advantage over them up until they allowed that flank to come back in from apps. And that's where the hope of them winning the round kind of fell away from me. Now, sure, with 2 pistols and 2 players on the site, that's something you could argue is doable, and I'll give you that. It's certainly, potential there, but you're asking for almost a Nico-esque play. These rifles should be able to isolate these players, find those trades, and get it done. Going 2 for 2 is by no means good enough at all. That is unacceptable, but it still works out to allow for a 1 versus 1 situation with a player that is just wielding that same level of weaponry, a deagle. It should be pretty clear-cut who has the advantage here.
You'd say that, but 1 bullet is all it takes from Zedko. Same with Ships, who is just going to be sitting in such a safe spot. If Zedko decided to push Boiler and try to push AAP, Ships would have had the off angle. And from this angle, Ships will hear the bomb tap and look for him to start getting ready to peek out Boiler and spot the bomb. As Ships actually risked it a little bit, taking his time with the peek. Zedko doesn't have a kit. I think he's just going to be content to get out of there with the Galil. To at least bring something into the next round. They did invest into that pistol for Spy, so both teams will get away with a rifle. Granted, it is a Galil, but it's something more than nothing flakes. I think that summarizes that round.
Yeah, it worked out better for them in the end, walking away with the Galils at the end of the day. Something that makes his 18th round that little bit more kind of... I don't quite know the word to describe it, but they can fight it.
They threw the Galil onto an unarmored player instead of Zedko giving Devil the Deagle and taking the Galil himself.
Just because you have the logical option doesn't mean you're going to take it.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm a pessimist. I haven't even had a coffee, and you know, I'm getting really emotionally attached to Extatus. You know, I think we've clicked on a friend kind of level, maybe first date kind of level. I've never talked to them, but you know, it's kind of we're that close. Don't judge him, man.
You're into it. It's not looking good though. You just lost
No,
Echo.
I'll have to give him a pep talk. You know, maybe pick up Sticko. You know.
It could work out. USP right now, you know, you start to give them something to fight for, and they're actually doing a fair bit now that you tease them. This USP, don't tell me it gets a triple kill. I don't want to see. Oh, right on the edge of my seat is that one on falls. Blocker and Poison do secure the trade to the end, though. Looks like we are going to see Questone Fool as well. Nice little trade coming from Devil to bring it down to a 1 for 2, which Poison being low could make it, again, to use your phrase, doable. But I think Bpro, if they play together here, they should be able to stop him from even getting remotely close. And that's if he wants to push for it, as we are seeing him just kind of sprint to the hills and go, you know what? I've got an AK-47. I may not have Kevlar, but I've got an AK. And that means I can save that, bring it into that 19th round, and save me a little bit of money for that 20th if that 19th doesn't go the way we expect it to.
Just trying to do some math in my head, right? The only player who will be remotely close to afford an op is going to be Monty on 3-round loss. 2400. Yeah, so it's going to either be a glass cannon op coming in from Monty, or they just won't have that pressure in their first rifle round. Devil saving the AK allows him to get full utility and a kit, and it looks like Monty's contemplating. I think they might be talking about it, right? Is it worth to give Monty a glass cannon op in this situation, just to take an early peek and try to get an early advantage, knowing that the utility is going to be there, but they'll be lacking like the early nades. They'll be lacking the Molotovs to deny kind of a rush, and they'll be lacking the kits. I think it might be worth it. Where's Monty's spawn?
Feeling it. Also, utility-wise,
yeah,
nothing's really kind of been. They haven't really been too on the ball with going for that proactive utility. It's been more just, all right, we're going to throw this to stop this and, you know, do X, Y, and Z. So I don't think it's that big of a deal if they did lack it. They aren't going to go for it, so they will have a little bit more to play with in the smokes and flashes department. But yeah, I would have argued they could have gone for that play there. Monty's feeling it after all. He's their top fragger right now, and I kind of want to see more of him in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. But again, this is a buy where Bpro, they have money, but they don't buy up full utility. So it's an interesting decision, and they don't even drop a gun over to Psycho, so they make him have a Tech 9 in this situation. So Bpro just saying we can get it done with less, and they're gonna get punished for it. So Frozen and Zedko get 3 frags, and their own blocker and ships who are spotted early, and they'll be dealt with. So that's actually massive that they give a chance for Extatus to keep 4 members alive. Or Extatus, what am I saying? They keep 4 members alive, while Bpro, they barely invest much of their cash, right? I think there's 3 players on 2K, or 2 players on 2K who could have bought up more utility, and they could have even dropped a UMP or something over to Psycho. Instead, they look at the points, they look at the lead round right now, and they take a chance. It doesn't work out. Now they're gonna have to take a kind of a knee in this round. 1 round loss, blocker 2800. Yeah, they'll still get a really comfortable buy next round, but they're kind of opening the door a little bit, right? You feel confident enough to go for that kind of buy, it gives a chance for Extatus.
Yeah, you give him an inch to take a mile, I think is what you're heading out there, and kind of on a similar trail of thought. I do want to mention, don't want to be an Indus Records player, but I feel like it has to be discussed, is if you're going to buy utility, use it. Don't go for some crazy, wacky push towards B when you have the opportunity to throw simple pop flashes for yourself. Just a few more simple smokes. When you're pushing the B site, just smoking off CT and then not throwing a singular flash, or just throwing one long overarching flash, that's okay, but you could do so much more. Just think to yourself when you're making these pushes, this is all I ask of Bpro right now, when you're making these pushes, just think to yourself, okay, what have I got that can make this situation better for my team? Because, sure, you might be that aggressive entry fragger at times, you might be the guy who pops in, but if you're running in 2nd or 3rd and you realize I've got a flash, think to yourself, okay, is it worth it for me to use that right now? Instead of just going for this constant splurge of aggression, which is kind of how Extatus have been able to punish them so far.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Bpro knowing that they're up 12-8 going into this round. I think pistols and maybe like more of a quick set play towards A, smoking off arch and just pushing a porch with a player going A apps. With pistols may have been more valuable because they have just zero utility, and it just showed right there as they just get absolutely shredded because they don't have the flashes.
2 flashes.
Yeah, I guess he didn't.
2 flashes though that Psycho died with. He was the one player with the bulk of the utility, and he's the first to die.
You know, it's one of those situations where do you say maybe he doesn't know the coffin smoke? Maybe it's a walk contact, but they absolutely get shredded. They don't use their flashes. They don't throw anything over. But if you're doing a walk contact, you want to stagger your players, right? So you send maybe 2 forward while the other 3 kind of hold back almost in a support role. As you're doing contact, you just
fountain.
I know. You send your entries first and they hope you find the shots, and if they don't, then you flash, but they got shredded. I would have liked to seen them use the little bit of utility they had. And if they weren't going to use it, just go for pistols and then get an absolute full buy with mollies and everything. And then you can get an op even out if you want onto poison. But they just got turned into shredded cheese. They were a block of cheese, a good old cheddar, and now they're shredded cheddar. And it makes me sad because I'm really hungry. Oh, Flakes died. Well, chat, it's just you and me. Flakes lagged out. But that's okay. I can carry it until Flakes gets back in here. You all know the UK CS and UK internet is lackluster together, so it's okay. He'll get back in shortly. He'll figure it out. As Quizstone's gonna take the opening peek, Bpro with just a couple upgraded pistols, a Glock out on blocker, and Extatus. They're gonna be able to get a good old double digits number 10 here, as it leaves it all on blocker. As Extatus, they have the bomb, they have the rifles, and Blocker just has a Glock. So, not much you can ask for from this man in the situation. Quizstone will retrieve the op. Extatus will get double digits and bring it within 2. Looks like Blocker's gonna push up here around the corner. And he will get spotted and he will get dealt with. So all you Extatus fans start to get excited because not only are they able to string 4 rounds together, starting with the rifle round, they have kept 4 players alive on round 19, 5 players round 20, 5 players round 21, and 4 players round 22. So if you look at the bank they've built up, they have 2 players over 10K currently. So they have just built up a massive bank around themselves and are looking super strong. While Bpro, it's another one of these buys where Blocker's the only one with full utility, and his teammates will have a couple smokes and only a single flash. So it's another one of these rounds where Extatus are kind of in the driver's seat. They have the advantage when it comes to utility. And this time we're going to see more of an A pressure from Bpro. They'll have a couple players in A apps, 1 player just holding for the mid push. So they throw 4 players in A apps, 1 player mid. And they're going to go for this walk push. Leftery is going to be the first as a flash comes in. Monty falls off balcony and is going to shuffle into sight. But here comes Bpro. Monty's going to hold mouse 1. A little bit of team damage. Chip's going to find a team kill. So Monty's done enough to make a player kill another player. As Blocker's going to find the headshot. So TK from Bpro. An immediate refrags from Extatus. Brings it to a 3v3. Blocker's tagged. And so is Poison. As Devil's about to go around the corner. And a flash. What a spin around from Zedco. As Ships tries to strike from Boiler. Instead, he'll just get 360'd on, giving all on Poison in a 1v3. Gets the first, but he's going to get peeked from Devil. And that round is going to go Extatus' way. The 360 spin in Chips. He was in the linchpin position in Boiler. Behind 2 players. He had position. He had the AK. But not today, says Extatus, as they bring it within 1. Bpro with a max loss, though, and money left over. They'll get a buy. This time they'll have a little more utility than normal. But Extatus still pushing the comeback, pushing the utility, and pushing their bank even further. Status, a common play on Inferno now is to throw 3 players towards the B site early. As Monty is going to be holding towards A apps. And it's going to be a similar setup from Bpro. 4 players A apps, 1 player mid. They felt that they could have transitioned that into a round, and they're going to go for it again. It's the exact same play. It's almost like a replay. This time Monty doesn't fall to sight, and he's able to get one of his own. But look at Blocker with the entries. He gets them both. Devil's given a chance to peek before a molly or a smoke's thrown. Bpro, interestingly enough, they don't use their smoke towards lane. This time they will. So they use the smoke towards lane, but they gave a chance for Devil to even it back out to a 3v3. So they open the door with this. As Ships is going to get himself single box. My boy Flakes is back. Are you in the Go TV, my dude? Maybe not. As Devil is going to be holding towards Graveyard. Find the first shot. The retake's in. Zedco cleans up the player pit. And every player on the retake gets a frag. Zedco, Frozen, and Devil will get it done. And that's 12s now. But the bomb planted for Bpro. Still max loss. It's going to be another strong buy. But Extatus, they're looking strong. Just like my right arm.
Oh, damn, dude. What have I missed? It's a shame. BT Internet, shout out to you. You've been glorious yet again. Damn, it's 12-12. Extatus, they move fast. They do not hold back at all. I like it, though. I think they deserve it as well. I think they worked really hard to adjust the play they brought to the table. I think Bpro certainly allowed them to be kind of used and abused on their T-side as well, bear in mind. They haven't been very good with the utility usage at all, and when you're not using the utility correctly, you're removing the element of advantage in taking those gunfights. Not only that, a lot of the gunfights they are taking, they're just losing on raw skill alone, unfortunately. That sway of who's winning the gunfights has changed direction. All in all, that leads to an Extatus victory here. It's 12-12. They find that first pick again on towards Psycho, which I would imagine has been a recurring trend, getting them first pick now on the CT side.
A little bit. Ooh. Poison makes up for it, though. So, you can't be too mad. Psycho gets spammed through the smoke, so he's probably a little triggered for that. Playing towards CD as Devil. He gets the molly in towards water. He has the op, but this time Bpro man advantage, site control. But look how heavy they are towards Banana. That's 3 players committed to that site towards Banana side, and the bomb is planted for them. So Blocker needs to stay alive in this situation because one smoke or just that molly can deny the repeats. The Ships gets himself to water, and all of a sudden Bpro still have a man advantage, and Ships is going pushing. He's taking a little bit of a sail.
Getting to have a crack at it, peeks out nice and wide. Monty, he's gonna take him down, but he's so low. The Poison gets himself the repeat off, finds himself that frag in the end of things, and it does put Bpro with that advantage yet again. Extatus, they thought tooth and nail to bring it back to equalization, and just when they thought they could hold the lead, just when they thought that 6 rounds back to back in a row was enough, Bpro waltzed on in, and they showed them who's boss.
See, the really scary thing here for Bpro is they only kept 2 players alive, so that's a lot of rebuys. That's a lot of rebuys on utility, and they're in reset potential here. And if they get reset in round 26, Exodus not only going to be on 13, they may have to take a save to allow Exodus get to 14. So I don't know why I keep saying Exodus. It's Extatus. I'm just haven't had a coffee, and it's a beautiful day outside, Flakes. I'm thinking about going golfing, but that's no excuse. It's no
you know
excuse.
what? I'm gonna fly to Canada. Let's go golf because it's boiling here as well. I like it. It's
a
too
nice
hot
day.
though.
It's a good day to wear nothing but boxers. Not
It's
saying
one of
I'm
those
doing
days
that,
where it's
but
like, you know, I want to turn my fan on, but I don't want you guys to hear a fan 24/7 because all you hear is just that buzzing sound. But at the same time, damn son, it's hot in here. Talking about things being hot, things are about to get pretty heated over on towards B, but it seems like actually, just as we decide to start talking about things, they actually go, you know what, the B site sucks, we're going mid.
Yeah, they gain top banana control. A team that I've mentioned countless times on Inferno that does this really well is C9 with the delayed top B control. And they always like to leave one player there. Typically it's Stewie, and he does such a good job at either A, killing the rotators, or just being a nuisance and keeping Bpro honest, or whatever team Stewie's going up against. He's never played Bpro, but keeping a player there honest. As Bpro, they fall off, and then they show face again. The molly in. Zedco has to dodge the flash, and they're coming through the smoke. This is perfect for Zedco through the smoke. He's able to get 2. He runs out of bullets, but that's good for Extatus. Getting 2 and doing tons of damage to Poison makes this one doable. They have a molly and a couple flashes for the retake. As Bpro this time going to put 2 players in sight, but Monty's about to find the player towards Coffins.
Continuing the trend of a reset potential here. Another shot to be landed with the AWP holding tight now on towards Banana. Devil seems to know what is going on. Spots the barrel. Psycho will. Looking out for that 1v1. Finds it. Has 2 more to try and chalk through though. The AWP will slide in though. And that's going to be the devastating finisher to this round. Extatus they break the back of Bpro. Their economy isn't going to be pretty after this.
The one saving grace they have is that extra $800 for everyone, and then $300 for the planners. So, I mean, that's a little saving grace. They can get 2 AK buys out on Psycho and Blocker. But I think in this certain situation, they are just going to go for that kind of quasi/half buy down to 2,000. But Psycho's the only one to do it. So the call comes in to kind of just go for this half buy. Yeah, so they're talking about it. Psycho buys up, and he's like, boys, you need to buy with me. So they will buy armor and pistols. Ships goes a little low, 1,100. And with only 2-round loss, that's 1,900. He's not going to have a lot of money. So they actually almost overbuy in this situation, which can be scary. You can give Extatus an opener into this. As Extatus, good molly into mid-control. Psycho has to get into the smoke. But Extatus aren't taking any chances. You can see they know a rush is possible. They know what the economy's like for Bpro. Not contesting top banana, which is going to be a heated point when it comes down to pistols.
Nice shot from Questone. We'll start off the trend that pistols will not be accelerated out on towards that A site. A short is going to be held in check, and really no angle to be explored right now for Bpro. They could try apps, but something tells me that when they do, it's just going to be a spraying affair into a smoke that eventually leads to a bit of a disappointing end. And the same thing towards B as well. I really feel like they're stuck in a bit of a box right now. It's just another free peek for Questone, simple frag for him on towards Psycho, and it kind of just gets worse and worse at this point. They go for the apps drop, and just as expected, Monty is going to spray away, and things are pretty much done and dusted right now. If you are a Bpro fan, Extatus, they will get the lead.
14. And Bpro, keep in mind, 2-round loss, 1,900. Unless they get another bomb plant this round, it's going to be kind of rough, and the bomb gets spawned from Monty. So 14, 13. You can even look at the money, right? 3,400, 3,800, 3,000 on ships. So I imagine it's going to be a buy, but it's going to include pistols and a UMP. And it's going to be the same story of lacking the utility, right? Because they're fighting for banana control, which forces out utility from Bpro early. So they're going to want to smoke off top banana to try to gain that control, a nade or a molly, something to help them not have to take so much damage. As Extatus are going to use a little bit of their own utility. And Bpro only have 3 smokes. One's going to have to get used early if they want to gain control. But they're content to work a default. But giving room to Extatus this round gives room for Zedko to push down.
And that's a lot of room, as they'll go for the pre-fire, and of course he landed it. Tay's taken most of the damage from his teammate, I think, in this round, but it is what it is. Can't complain. Devil finds just another Questone, cuts down the push coming in towards Long with a frag on towards Psycho, and that all that does really is slow down the ante, to be honest. And these ships is going to go for a very kind of last minute, let's try and save this round, let's be the big MVP right now kind of push. That just doesn't work. Blocker, he's going to have a crack at getting a plant here, which is actually huge for the Bpro economy. But that's kind of it. He now has to pull off a 1 versus 3, playing from construction, which is probably the best angle he could be in right now, but even then, I don't fancy his odds.
No, that's good. And he'll lose to this. He's at a Devils and just missing some critical shots. Gives Extatus number 15. And, I mean, 3-round loss, plus a bomb plant. They'll have money, but it's not going to be pretty. Yeah, the average is out to about 3,200. So they'll have a couple AKs, UMPs, pistols again. Extatus have really done a good job on their CT side to bring this back. Bpro had a good start. They won the 3 conversion rounds off the pistol. And they even got bomb plant money, which includes $300 on only the planner due to them winning the round. But after that, it's just been all Extatus, from the retakes to shutting down the quick pushes, which are strong on Inferno, but just getting shut down. And Bpro's default's not ending too much anymore, and that's ultimately what's been the downfall.
Extatus are just crushing them right now. It looks like this tail is going to become to a very short and stout end on Inferno. Extatus, the team who finished 2nd in their group, coming up against a rival force who topped it all. But Extatus, they're the ones to take victory in their first, it seems, as Blocker going to have to go absolutely huge in a 1 versus 4. How on earth is he going to make it work? The answer is he will not. Extatus, 16-13, the team who did do it all in group.